Okay, we're going to work in communism. We're going to talk about communism. They called it the Red Scare, but it's actually the Blue Scare. So just like the Reagan administration and Bill Clinton tried to steal Reagan's ideas, they are trying to use the Red Scare of what we call the Red Scare, but it's actually the Blue Scare. It's actually the Blue Scare. MAAG section, which I think is interesting because we call it MAGA. Accepting a few assigned to such offices as the legitimate MAAG section, as differentiated from the oversized cover MAAG section, was under the operational control and direction of the CIA. It was only after the beginning of real escalation that the Army soldiers under Army generals began to take over certain roles and missions and areas in Vietnam. They never did take over full responsibility for what was called a WAR. One reason for this was that there never was a real honest military objective of this war. There never has been the Vietnam. They just like doing it. It's crazy. They're mentally ill. Pookie is mentally ill. You can see it in her face. You can see it in all these women now that are getting pregnant. They literally are the worst of the worst. It's incredible to me that you as men would stand by this shit. I promise you this, if you have the audacity to stand up against them, they will crumble. They will crumble. But see, Gary won't do anything about this concern or problem because he's too busy worried about himself. So is that selfishness? Well, I would say so. Backstabber. Reminding you that he's from the USSR where he was born into communism. So I guess you've been living communism your whole existence. You just didn't really know it. So then he tried to infiltrate my peace of mind with his spastic behavior. Why the hell do you think he acted the way? He still acts that way. Why the hell do you think he acts the way he acts? And then he found his zen with his Iranian freak. Go over there with your freak, Gary V. Go over there with your freak and you stay the hell away from me. Understand that he is communist. He's probably teaching all these people about communism because they don't really fucking get it. Even after I've told you all these things, you still don't get it. Because they're not intelligent. They just want seduction, as in worship, as in fancy clothes. This is how sick this shit is. Fancy clothes. Destruction of other people's existence so that you'll worship them like you worship a celebrity. And they figure out ways to tear down your lives through spewing out HATE, which is what Kamala's doing every time she points her finger over at Donald Trump, which is actually being pointed at me because she knows I'm hit the nail on the head and exposed her ass. That's how mentally ill women are, by the way. Clandestine operations. So she has her ideas of what's going on in the government. However, that's not actually what's going on in the government because she's not very good at her job. See, what she doesn't understand is this is happening behind the scenes, in the underbelly. The secret team is a real thing. And just because you're in charge doesn't mean you're in charge of the secret team. Kamala Harris. See, Donald Trump learned it the hard way. They all turned his back on him because Obama was holding the stone of death of communism. Although there were some really evil people within the organized crime group of the Democrats, and there still is, the form of Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. It is possible that she failed her law exam. She probably did the episode of Suits where he goes and takes tests for people? It's probably what Kamala Harris did. Wow, I really want that as a person in charge. And another dude who was a teacher, very weak. Very easy to tell you that he's not intelligent. He has other skills of feelings. He's a pervert. Money. Whenever things got to the point just before the boil, they knew how to raise the flag of security. And the subject would be dropped quietly. Donald! Common sense. It's common sense. Why would you point the finger at me? Why would you do that, Kamala Harris? Oh, a shadow. Why would you point fingers at me and have such insecurity that you would use Donald Trump's name instead of my name? This process is one of the key elements in the success of the CIA in matters pertaining to money. It is possible to read the unclassified public law on national security closely and be careful interpretation. Yeah, you better be careful. Because I'm not the problem either. Democrats are the problem. They're in office. I'm not in office. That's how crazy this is. That's communism. Men, that's why men are in charge, because women gossip. Women get their period. Women get their period. How is it that so many people are having trouble getting pregnant? It's very strange. Robert F. Kennedy. Very strange. See, what happens when in government is you can't trust anyone, so how do we get anything done? Ask Bay of Pigs. We don't get anything done. We just lose soldiers like we did at the Bay of Pigs while we promised things, and then we broke promises, which is out of integrity. Your word is a matter of your word. Later, the new curriculum was either the one at Fort Bragg or like it. The Army interest in political, social, economic programs under the general concept of nation building was gaining momentum. Oh, so that must be what Obama was working on, but off of the Muslim bullshit. Anyone who doubts that the nation's building and police activity, Fort Bragg, Bobby Kennedy, and to win him over to his new doctrine of counterinsurgency, flexible response, civic action, nation building, and the rest, and through him to win over the president. Oh, so that might be why he was assassinated. He was assassinated by American. Probably through communism. Just like that freak that they had show up at the rally or the golf course and the rally. And the children's schools, just to let you know, is how it works. It's based on the news media.